is Saturday, July 15th, and it's a little late start to get into the beach. It's almost, it's almost 3 o'clock actually. People are leaving, so I was able to get a parking spot, no problem, here at Lindholm Park. There was rain, though, which delayed my visit down here, and it looks like the tide is high. Let me just take a little look and see what the tide is doing. Because based upon the tide, there's still a lot of people on the beach, but it was raining here about an hour ago. Looks like some of the people, the early birds, left, and some of the late birds stayed in their cars and waited for the rain to go away. So the tide does look kind of high, but you know what? I'm gonna risk it. I'm gonna go to our normal spot to enter the beach and see how far we can place go down. I have a problem with my front tire. There's a non-Schrader valve, and I have one of those adapters for it, but it doesn't seem to work. And you know, Schrader valves are the best valves. They're the most reliable ones that seal even better than these. These have a locking mechanism, but still the Schrader valves seem to work better. They just seal based upon compression. Air compression. So anyway, so the sad news is that the building that I want to buy on Little Cerro Island, I now see that there is a renovation, kind of like a dumpster on the property, which means they're fixing the property up, which means they want to sell it, but now it's looking more and more less likely that they want to sell it to me, because I'm not in the market for no $1 million property. I'm in the market for entry level. You know, you're looking at, hey, the property in there was destroyed. You know, water was rushing on the roof. You know, I'm willing to take on the cost of renovating it myself. But if they want to renovate it, that's fine. They may be just taking out some of the confidential information before they decide to sell it. Maybe that's why the dumpster's there. But if they're going to renovate it and make it habitable to a point where they can get good money for it, then forget it. I'm not in the market, because that's what's called the last building standing. And in Florida here, when you're the last building standing, you can charge a lot. So hopefully they don't watch my videos. I'll be playing my poker hand. But anyway. So anyway, that's the disappointing news. Of course, they would never sell this building to me, this Best Western Plus. But, I mean, I'll have bought and sold 2 properties by the time that they fix this one up. My neighbors across the street from my house, they already bought another property, they're fixing it up. And they haven't sold this one yet. But the one that they fixed up is ready to go. This guy's a workaholic. I mean, he works 24/7. I can't believe how long he works each day. He works from like sun up, like 6:30 in the morning, till 8 o'clock at night, nonstop. I mean, that's fantastic if you can do it. So all these places still have this disaster recovery places here. They're all working out at snail paces. I don't know if it's because their building permits expired and Fort Myers Town Council wants to charge the heck out of them or what, but okay, I have to get this. This irks me. When I passed already a couple of nails on the road and it's already irked me, but this nail here is extra sharp and it bugs me because it's right. Not only will a car run over it and get it easy in the tire, but a bicycle like myself will. So, if you're in the pile there yonder. And as I look down towards towards Bodwich Point, I see that there's still a barricade in front, so people aren't able to drive in. So it makes no point in driving down I mean, it's nice to go all the way down to Pink Shell Resort, and there is that little access point right there near Pink Shell Resort. You know, it's kind of illegal to drive on their property, but you know, it's a nice access. It's right from their driveway right onto the beach, which is really nice. Now, a lot of people are using this place to go on the beach. They drive over here, and they drive on people's private property. So they're parking here for free, and no one's saying anything about it. So, you know, until they start building homes here, I don't see a problem. There's a lot of wreaths here. I think someone bit a bullet or took it from the storm here. But sad. So it looks like it's a really high tide. And I see there are some people shelling still. Those people are in the water though. The temperature on my car said 95, but on the beach here it feels like 100. So, but the humidity is way down. You can see Sanibel really vividly. And the tide is, I'm not sure if the tide's coming in or going out. Do you know if the tide's coming in or going out? Is the tide coming in or going out? The tide, is it coming in? It's okay. People sitting there, they may know over time. Alright, so it looks like the tide's going out because this area of the beach is wet and not the other area of the beach, so it looks like the tide is going out. Again, my front tire is kind of low because I tried to put air in it, but because it's not a Schrader valve, I tried that little adapter, and that little adapter's not doing diddle. So this rainstorm you see straight ahead of me, that's what was raining over my house earlier. And it kind of like, it came from the water, it moved over land, and then it kind of regrouped over land. Now it's moving back towards the water. So, yeah, I had to put a new inner tube in the front tire. This is really irking me. I shouldn't have tried to put any air in the tire, but I wanted to try. And of all my efforts, I probably took out more air than I put in. It's sad. I have one single air adapter that I use to inflate my tires with. On Schrader tires, it works perfect. Non-Schrader valve, forget it. Using the non-Schrader tire adapters don't work. So now that I know that. So the pirate ship is probably already come and gone. See, that's the problem. This tire is not fully inflated. It maybe has 45 pounds in it. It's nothing. Back tire has got 65. The front tire has 65. It would be enjoyable. It's a harder pedal. That's how I'm enduring it. There's a lot of people here on the beach. And the sun is really bright. It's hidden behind a very high cirrus level cloud cover, extreme high stratus cloud. It's still that hot. This is Lynn Hall Park. And again, today must have been a fabulous day. There was probably twice as many people out here before the rain started. And I'm seeing evidence of a lot of seaweed. So there must have been a really high tide. Oh, thank you.
Boys.
Yeah, it looks like from the way because that one whole pier is exposed, it looks like it is approaching low tide. Here's one of these ice cream or beach cart vendors. Theoretically, if his prices are right, see, there's no prices on the outside. That's, you know, people think sticker shock. They think the worst. So the guy would be smarter if he put prices on the outside, because people would remember that, or at least they can make a decision from afar, so that they can make a decision, then lunge for their money before he's out of sight. Otherwise, they just, you know, they're like, ah, he's probably charging too much. Maybe not charging. By the time they come to a realization that they're going to buy it for whatever price he's got, so it's not a good. You got just like garage selling, you have to put the price down. You just can't assume, because people assume the worst. So the game starts by putting the price down. The same thing with selling a house. If you just put a for sale sign on your house, people assume the worst. Smart move would be to put a for sale sign on your house, and also put the price that you are asking for the sale price. At least there, the game starts. Without a sales price, you know, the sales associate goes, oh, well then they'll call me and I'll get a lead. Well, no, you're just wasting your time and the customer's time. You think it's a lead, but it may be a lead, but half of the people calling are just inquiring about price. They don't care about buying property. And that's the sad thing. If you're a real estate person, you should already know that. And if you don't know that, then you're doing a disservice to yourself and to the community, as well as the home buying community, because, you know, they're sick and tired of real estate people yanking their chain. You should disclose all the information that you have available up front. And if the sellers are asking for something, you should disclose it. But if the seller wants it kept hidden, you know, personally, if I'm a broker, I would not accept a listing like that. When you list something, you're listing it for a price, right? That makes sense. All right, so we passed the line of Kai already. It seems like the most people are hanging out on the beach between Lanakai and Diamond Lake. There's a puppy riding on the beach, pretty cute. He's coming over to me, want to check me out. Yeah, a lot of people are just taking their drinks out to the sandbar and standing probably in that cool water. Again, it feels like 100 degrees here on the beach. And you factor in the humidity, and with the added sunlight, forget it. It is raining. I can see down on Lover's Key, and it looks like just the southern tip of Fort Myers Beach. Lover's Key definitely is getting wet. And Bonita Beach, that's for sure. And Estero. And all points from Estero up to downtown Fort Myers. And so we're passing the Lanakai. Again, nothing has changed there. The pile of rubble to the north of them is slowly being cleared out, but they're taking their sweet time. And there's a lot of people around the pool of Diamond Head. There's not that many people wave running, probably because it costs us too much. And everybody thinks hyperinflation, everyone could raise their prices. That's not true. That's not true. People are still living on the same budgets. And food stores raise their prices again, people start shopping more at farmers markets. They're on the same budget, and then stores start selling less. They have to increase their margins even more. They're putting pressure on the local farmers to lower their prices, and the farmers are selling more at the local because customers can't afford grocery stores. So, you know, there's a lot of, and then competition. Other food stores move in, and it just, you know, the older food stores that thought they could raise their prices now have raised themselves out of business. And we're starting to see that, like places like Aldi's and stuff like that, they overbuilt, and now you have an influx of other grocery stores. Even Winn-Dixie's making a comeback. You have Sprouts coming into this area big time. They're not necessarily low priced, but the initial grand opening is lower priced. So the grand opening has 20% less than the competition. So for the next like 3 or 4 weeks, Sprouts will be cheaper than the competition. So it's better to buy at Sprouts. Now you have to, like Publix, you have to buy in a little bit more bulk, but you know what? That's fine. I'll stop buying at Aldi's. They could suck a little more wind and wonder why they did something wrong. They can give their marketing people raises, and why they lost market share, like Anheuser-Busch InBev, you know, lose $50 billion off their market cap, and then want to sell, I forget what it is, but I think Bud Light, they're going to sell the entire, they can't just sell Bud Light, they would have to sell Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch InBev. Anheuser-Busch would have to be spun off into its own company. There's no way they could just sell it off. They would make a substantial loss. If they spun it off into their own company, at least they could sell stock, get a new board of directors, and then stop that woke nonsense. All right, I see a lot of seaweed up here at the beach, so probably is going to foreclude my beach bike swing here. Although the tide is going out, I just wish my front tire was pumped up nicely. It's not. Ooh, it's a big fortress here. So I'm going to build a nice big sandcastle. Alright, this it's getting really hard to pedal because the sand is really soft. This must be a sandbar that just dumped itself onto the main beach. Oh, thank you. Yes, yeah. I don't want to drive too much on soft sand. I'm going to cut inland a little bit here. Let's see here. I'll cut in right here at Fresh Catch. I'll try to come out tomorrow. I don't know. I was at Walmart today. I should have bought an inch or two. I just wasn't thinking. I wasn't thinking 29-inch. I should have. All right. Passing the old Fort Myers Beach RV park and the Red Coconut RV park. There's still some piles there. They're still bulldozing some of the manufactured home, mobile home pads, making big piles. And then Lee County has an emergency command center. I have a feeling that Lee County is trying to acquire this beach too, and make another free beach parking. And see, that's where this property, that's where Fresh Catch is going to be worth some money. So, it looks like people are parking at the old Junkaroo next to Fresh Catch. And some people have an RV. There is a fence going all the way around the old Fort Myers Beach RV park, so I have a feeling they have a construction permit. Let's see, we have to go over this berm here. This berm's about 4 feet high from this point. It's about 6 feet high from the beach. I don't know why they built this. See, what they should have done is they should have put 12-foot or higher big concrete tubes. They could have made passenger car like one way each way. So they could have had an extra road here. That would have been really nice. I'm telling you, just, I mean, there is a little beach breeze. Getting away from the breeze of the beach there. And the temperature has already gone up at minimum 5 degrees. So it feels like 100 degrees right now. Can't wait to get back on the bike. There's some these people in the RV here. They're making some kind of lunch or something. I didn't know. It could be workers, who knows? From the way that they're parked, it kind of looks like they work here, but you just never know. That'd be smart though for them to live in an RV like that and then work. But working means work. Working doesn't mean grilling out all the time and making food. If they're here to work, they should be working 9 to 5, from 9 in the morning. Actually, if you're a contractor worker, you should be working from 6 in the morning. 6 in the morning till 4 or 5 in the afternoon. I'll work till 7. I'll work from sun up to sundown. Because, you know, why not? If you're going to be working, you're going to be sweating like that. There's no point in sitting down and getting the suntan. You have to work as well. And there's plenty of projects left over. So if you're a contractor, you know, don't think that you have to go slow on your job, because there's plenty of other jobs waiting for contract work to become available. So you do a good job. A lot of these homeowners or businesses that you do the work for, they'll give you a bonus. You get it done beforehand, and then you can just go on to the next one, and they'll do the same thing. So the key is get the job done as good and fast as possible, and you'll make more money. You'll be more satisfied with yourself. You'll get more positive referrals from people. You'll make more money. It's a win-win for everyone. You'll feel better about yourself. Then you'll just, you know, you made more money that day anyway because you worked more hours. And then, you know, you get into that nice positive work ethic where you can just work like that. And that's what you have to do. When you work outside in Florida, it's a war. You're not working in like New York City in the summertime where the temperature is, make it up to 80 degrees. It's more like, you know, 60 to 70 degrees on the average daytime temperature. You know, that's perfect. Shoot, I would work outside. As a programmer, I could work anywhere, but I don't mind working far off places, but the money, because I would travel to those places without a car, and the rent would be high. Of course, I would need to have high pay to cover the cost of, without transportation, you know, I would have to afford my own. It says there's a food pantry. Maybe we'll stop here on the way back, check it out. I doubt it. I mean, I doubt they have water bottles. We'll see. Maybe they have one or two. I got 2 water bottles back in my car. One of them is still frozen solid. The other one I cracked open. It's slowly melting, but frozen water bottles, when they're frozen for a couple, like in this case, these were frozen for a couple weeks. The ice is really solid. It'll melt, even at this temperature in the car, it'll melt really slow. So when I get back to my car, half of it will be melted. And that's a good hour in a 130 degree car. So see this, the St. Peter Evangelical Church, Lutheran Church. I'm telling you, they tried to do a total job on the roof. You know, I'm glad they did at least that, but they didn't finish it. You know? I don't know whether they ran out of money or what, but see, I would like to buy that. And a couple pastors came to me and said, look, we need a church on the beach. then you wouldn't care. There's only one church on the beach. It's down near Mid-Island. There's a spur in the road, and it leads back to one of the highest points, natural points at Fort Myers Beach. And they put the church, it's like 24 some feet up. So it survived the 21-foot kick. I kicked it not only off the road, but past the sidewalk into the people's property so that it won't, and it rolled a couple times so it won't roll back into the road. Anyway, yeah, the church survived. Didn't get flooded at all, and it had an aluminum roof, so it survived totally intact. Hurricane Ian. And probably all the people are going there, so it's making good money right now. Boy, let me think about it. Let's see, should I go all the way down? There's a lot of bison in here. I'll go down to Publix, I'll turn around. Publix is coming up. Yeah, that rainstorm is still, it's starting to come back towards the coast, but at 5 o'clock I'll come back. They're still taking this big truck that just passed us. They're going to Lover's Key. They're taking stuff from Lover's Key. I don't know where they're putting it. They're taking it off Lover's Key, but they're also taking it from Lover's Key, and like the solid concrete, they're depositing offshore to make artificial reefs, which eventually will form an island. So like 3 miles off of Sanibel Fort Myers Beach, there's a couple piles out there that, to tell you the truth, they're navigational hazards because they come within 10 feet of the surface. You know, if you're going to make an artificial reef, make it at least 20 feet down, and don't make it higher than 20 feet. I mean, because if you do, then at low tide, forget it. You know, super low tide, it drops down 6 feet. That's like in the Caribbean, right near Jamaica, between Jamaica and Honduras. There's some continental shelf that comes up to almost 15 feet. And at low tide, that could be 10 feet. And in some places where the tides swirl, there could be sandbars that are exposed. And if you're a boat and you're looking at navigational charts, or you're looking at, you think you're halfway between Jamaica and Honduras, you think you're in the middle of the Caribbean Sea, all of a sudden the bottom of your boat is scraping against really sharp, hard coral bedrock, and bingo, now you're stranded and your boat's ripping itself open. I see some thunderstorms that are forming. Must be about 30 miles south of here, off of Naples, and that storm looks pretty big. So I wonder if that's going to come back this way. All right, so it looks like I passed Publix while I'm talking. So I guess I'm going to go down to Mid-Island here. This land coming up on the left-hand side, this is that tennis court that got destroyed. And I've always wanted to buy it, but this is the turn to go to the church too. This is the church that survived the flood. Turn down this road. See right here on the left-hand side, this was the tennis court. I would love to build a building here and build pickleball courts. So it's the Episcopal Church. That's the one that survived. We went there once already in one of my previous videos. I just want to go down to Mid-Island and take a look at some of these properties here on the left-hand side and the right-hand side. I'm looking at both. So again, there's a lot of tarp fencing going on, so they have building permits, which is a good thing because that makes the property actually more valuable to sell, even if they don't make the renovations themselves, because all the permits are transferable on sale, and there's no transfer fee either, which is really good. At least not yet. Who knows? But as far as our last research, like this home right here still needs to come down, but they're trying to sell it as is. Looks like an engineer owns the house, And yeah, the roof is completely compromised. It needs to come down. Yeah, I can even see that Raphael church from here. It has a green roof. It's not down this street, it's the street before, but it's amazing. Well, I could, people need to enjoy Fort Myers Beach, and that's where all these RVs, most of them are fifth wheel. Some of them are recreation vehicles, but mostly I've seen fifth wheels. And the wind just changed direction, which is indicative of this rainstorm, or the convection currents in the sky are changing again, which means all this moisture that's on the beach here is going to be sucked up into the atmosphere, and it's going to create super massive clouds that are going to rain like crazy. Coming soon, new Flamingo Homes. Oh, that's nice. Letting everybody know. See this place here? A new staircase. I'm just amazed at the place. See this place, the Sandpiper Golf Resort? I just wish they would spend more time fixing it. I mean, look at that. It just had the outside of the building was just freshly painted within the last year or so. And they have a very cheap aluminum roof. But it's still if it's still standing, that means the structure itself is sound. But they haven't done diddly to fix the roof. So that means the rain is coming in and ruining all the drywall, all the appliances, all the beds, all the carpeting. So, oh man, that was a big nail there. I should have stopped and threw it off the road. Dang it. I keep on forgetting that this area is full of broken glass, shards of glass, steel, pieces of steel. There's somebody picking up stuff. Nice, thank you. Hello. Great job. I saw a big nail back there on this side. And there's porcelain right there. Oh, yeah, here is something. This used to be Mid-Island laundromat and Mid-Island car wash. And then Tri-Power Realty had a piece of property here. And they just dumped a mound of sand here, which is indicative that they're trying to raise the elevation of this area. And because they dumped it on Tri-Power Realty's property, this is another optional property that I was thinking about buying that could also spell disaster for me, because they're trying to raise their property up a little bit. This is a good way of doing it. Dumping all this sand here. You see all this sand is being dumped right here. And it's 10 feet tall. So anyway, this is as far as I want to come down. Because that storm that's over there in the water is coming towards shore. Still another 20 minutes away. And we're going to go back. There used to be a house right over here on the left-hand side, just past this blue sign. It says William Ravies, which I guess is a real estate person. That house was torn down. This person's doing a great job, though, picking up this garbage, I'm telling you. Again, looking at the left-hand side here, looking at this Sandpiper Golf Resort. See, you gotta go above 20 feet, but from 20 feet up to the roof, and the roof has to have aluminum up there, those are rentable, still. They survive. Even if you could only rent 10 or 12 units, that's 10 or 12 units times a potential $1,500 to $2,000 a week. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money being foregone. And Fort Myers Beach lost between 2/3 and 3/4 of all its residents. The mobile home residents are gone. That's a sizable amount. And then because the churches are gone, a lot of people that would normally live down here, they're gone. Half the homes were left uninhabitable. And still they're being fixed up. So like the home ahead of us on the right hand side, they fixed that up. That is a success story. They got this thing back up and running in no time. And this is a complete rental home. So every room is like made into a small efficiency. And it's pretty awesome. You see they got power. They got air conditioners raised off the ground. So they did a great job. That's a Bella. And then also on the left-hand side, excuse me, these homes were just being finished. Sharp pieces of metal here on the road. I just ran over one of them. See, even this piece of property I would buy, but they want too much. For one, it's on a canal, so they're already going to want $1 million. And, the home, wow. The home needs some severe work. It's better to just knock it down and build another one, but then you're adding the home may cost $100,000, but to knock it down and build a new one, you're at a minimum $200,000. A minimum, probably $250 because of the new code you have to deal with. So it's gonna be a while. There has to be a lot of new money comes in this area. People are gonna both the town of Fort Myers Beach will have to swallow their pride and lower the taxes, and new money will have to come in, and regulations will have to be lowered big time. See, each one of these places on the left-hand side, if they still have a fence around it by now, that means they're potentially for sale, the whole thing. So if they still have a fence around them, the whole property is for sale. Now's your chance, if you're an investor, to find the property owners and say, look, you haven't rented this thing out. You haven't rented this thing out for a year. I mean, it's almost been a year since the hurricane struck. Sell me the property at a discount. Here's Publix. They got about 20 cars. It's not that busy, but it does give people an option. See, right there on the left-hand side, that's a new house that was just built. So they've taken into account tides, and it looks like most of their living quarters is 20 feet high. And then right here on the right-hand side, this place survived almost intact. They had a little water damage. Some of the waves got just up to the first floor railings. That was it. So they pretty much survived intact. So 22, you might as well make it 25 feet. That's where you want to put your first floor, just in case. Then again, if you're old like me, it doesn't really matter. You know what? If I'm going to be on this earth for 15 more years, we're not going to hit another storm like this. We might get like a 5-foot surf or an 8-foot surf, but we're not going to get no more 20-foot surf, at least not for the next 40 or 50 years. So you have to be young, like in your 20s, to contend with that type of level of surf. This is the time to buy at the distressed prices and to live, speculate and try to, work that speculation model up from the bottom. 5 years from now, this property, all these properties will be built up on, and values will be back up where they were, and vegetation will be back up to where it was. The vegetation is just going to go crazy here. No one's cutting the lawns or anything. So I mean, think about all the people, all the lawn cutting businesses that lost money here. No one is. If they are, they've dropped their prices to like $10 a week trimming for weeds. That's nothing. They're not cutting grass. So it's going to take a while for any business to come back. The people, obviously, that used to daycare, sit the homes, those homes that were destroyed, they lost that business. The painters, the house cleaners, the babysitters, the pets, the pet sitters, all that was wiped out. That entire economy was gone. And even if you have homeowners insurance, that didn't cover that. You have renters insurance, that didn't cover that. Everyone took it on the chin. Insurance didn't cover everyone, unless you were part of the elites. You were part of the elites, and you said, "Hey, give me some free money." And then they got paid off. So an inlet was being cut through this road. Didn't make it though. And that berm is not going to do anything. It's just going to maybe it may stop a hurricane for about 20 seconds. So it'll give this area 20 seconds, and then the hurricane will last here 4 hours. It'll blow through that berm in 20 seconds, and Fort Myers Beach will be completely rearranged, and that berm will be nowhere left to be seen. Now that's interesting property on the left-hand side, because there was another inlet being cut, and that whole building was being undermined. But they filled in that undercutting really nicely. You can't even tell it was being undermined. In fact, they added about 20 feet, because it was one of the deepest undercuts I've seen in this crossing. It was about to cross Estero Boulevard here. And it was a deep one. So they filled in about 20 feet from where it is now to where it was. And again, you couldn't even tell there was a church here. Wow. I mean, again, a year ago, bicycling on the beach like I was, if you watch one of my old videos, the vegetation was just out of control. I mean, it was beautiful. There was what I call triple canopy sidewalk bicycling. I don't really like this road. I really wish it was the old road, which was the asphalt. And you could put 2 lanes on each side and a turning lane in the middle, and then you don't even need the sidewalk for bicycles. It's just bicycle on the road. A nice asphalt road like that. That's better, because it was about a foot or 2 higher. So during a hurricane, when you're trying to flee the island, at least when you're driving on Estero Boulevard, you're a little bit higher than the flood zone. All right, let's see if there's water. It says Monday through Thursday, 9 to 2. So I think that's the food pantry. So there's no more water access on this side now. So that's what's changed. And they have a lot of mobile homes in this area for the pastor and all the other nuns and everyone that's going to be living and working at the food bank and doing. I guess they're going to hold prayers inside that tent too. Couldn't even tell that there was a building here. There was a huge building here there was a school. Nuns lived here. All the teachers of the Christian school. And then there was a big church there with a nice big blue roof. Totally gone. That's the farthest. A year ago, I would say that thing is a landmark. Will never leave this island. Boy, if I made that statement back then, that was wrong. Now, if you make a right-hand turn here, you're going to go down to what's called the Mound House. I don't even know what the Mound House is, but it's down this road here. So, and this is, I think this is not the same road. I'm trying to think where I found that treasure chest, but it had nothing in it but 2 books. There was books strewn around, so I know it was like a child's treasure chest full of books. See this building on the right-hand side, kind of this blue one? Again, they did the worst patching job to the roof. I mean, this is like something I would have done when I was like 13 years old, working on a tree fort in the woods. I mean, look, they haven't even fixed the roof. I mean, no trespassing? You have to fix the roof first. I mean, look at this crummy job they did. They should have at least cut the weeds. You know, I mean, I would love to buy this building for $100,000. and make it into a real estate office. And it would look, I mean, I could easily, for that price, put another $100,000 into this and make this house look exquisite. I mean, the roof would be the most expensive thing, and I would do it in aluminum. I know someone who could do this roof for about $30,000. The cheaper aluminum, but still, it'd be done nice. And then the rest of the house could be done for $30,000, the outside and the inside for $30,000. That's tiling the inside floors, all the floorboards, all the wall boards, all the plaster, all the paint. $30,000 on the inside. Now the parking lot and weeds, I'd have to contemplate that, but that could be an extra $30,000. I'm not sure. To do the whole outside, nice landscaping and a parking lot. So 30 plus 20, yeah, we're looking at somewhere between 80 and 100. The whole renovation. But that would include, I have furniture and some lamps and stuff like that. So I might need to pick up a couple light fixtures. But besides that, probably indoor and outdoor light fixtures. So yeah, it could be up to 100,000, but still, that would be done in 2 months. I would not dilly-dally. In fact, within 1 month, the whole inside would be done. Literally. I'd be waiting on occupancy license. Like this place coming up on the right-hand side, finally they got a dumpster here. You know, finally they come to the realization, you just got to throw everything from the inside out. You can't fix anything because all this personal property is in the way. Just toss it out. You know, personal property means nothing. It has sentimental values. Believe me, once a hurricane hits, sentimental values go out the window. You're lucky you survived, and the next thing you want is a house to live in. You don't care about if it's a choice between a house cluttered, unfixed with personal property, or a house fixed with no personal property. Believe me, the personal property is thrown in the garbage immediately. That's why I don't like family members sending me down heirlooms from people who passed away. I'm like, what am I going to do with it? Store it for a hurricane to destroy it? Come on. I mean, come on. I mean, I could see if people had reunions down here. Once I own my casino, yeah, I'll have a penthouse casino, but I ain't going to store garbage in it. No way. No way. I have to make room for a bar and a wine cellar up near the roof. Sure. Not really wine. I don't really drink wine, but I like a good beer cellar. Nice chilled beer. Oh. To tell you the truth, see, oh man, looking at the Fort Myers Beach and Red Coconut, so pretty much they're just chewing up some of the leftover concrete pads. Now, here's somebody doing some work over here in this yellow building. There's a contractor doing something. It looks like they're working on the bank building, to tell you the truth. Yeah, it's easier to demolish. It's hard to build. So I don't know why they're demolishing, to tell you the truth. Unless they just sold this piece of property here. This would be an awesome piece of property for me to put in a real estate office. He's flattening out the ground. They just took out a couple trees. Well, they need to move their trailer. He could have done this whole side. But I don't know why they're doing that when they still have a roof that's not fixed. They have a roof that's not fixed. And all they're doing, I mean, hey, more power to them. This is Saturday. You know, it needs to get done. More power to them. But now here's some people fixing the library. This is interesting. They are actually laying down new roofing pieces and they're fixing it, which is interesting. A little late, but they're still running on. This air conditioning system has been running 24/7 for like the last 10 months. That's very expensive. That's an expensive cost to the taxpayers. They need to sell this building to me as a casino. Now, of course, they'll never do it because there's a school right behind it. So they'll like cry rape if I try to have a casino right next to their school. The school got destroyed back here. Let's take a little drive, a little exploring. See, this is the library, and then there's a church that also got pretty devastated. I can tell by the roof that they're not going to move back in yet. Looks like they just painted the outside, but again, you have to take care of the roof first, or else you might as well just write it off. This school here they saved this one building. It says Naples Excavating. This is where they had all the stuff piled almost 100 feet high back there. But there's still like a school gymnasium over there. But the other school buildings are destroyed. They used to be back there. They're not there anymore. You can see they're gone. A lot of them look like temporary buildings. But see, the school's not here anymore, so they can put the school anywhere they want. So they should give this building to me, this old library, as a casino while they're doing all the renovations. Sure. On taxpayers' money. See, there's a nice parking lot, and you know, it's just big enough for a casino. You know, you have enough parking. Even this field over here, I would buy. See, I would put some money back into the church. I would probably buy too. Make a hotel over there. I'd make a big parking garage here. I mean, I would entice people to park in my parking garage. I'd build a nice air-conditioned walkway across this road here, a bridge, so they can go from the parking garage into my air-conditioned casino. Sure. Absolutely. And then across the street here, yeah, eventually the casino would expand and I would buy up all that property. I'd make a nice lazy river resort. Maybe that's what it would be called. Lazy river on the beach. Lazy River Beach Resort. Look at that. And this is the area really where you want to have, if you want to have, now on the north side of the island, on the north side of San Carlos Boulevard, that actually is a better spot where the pink shell is. The beach is a little wider there. The property to build a hotel is a little wider. But this property right here is also pretty wide. Not as wide as the up on the northern side, but still it's ideal. And this should be on the right hand side, another supermarket. It should not be a fire department like they plan on putting in. And this, they haven't done any work on fixing up this town hall. So this town is being run by a virtual town hall right now. It's ridiculous. And this church here, another thing which is a nightmare. It needs to come down because they haven't done anything with the roof, and you know, just so much mold now. I mean, and it's raining, and there's probably insects, everything else growing in there, and bats, and just, all right, we're gonna go back on the beach. We'll see how the tide is. Again, this is the beach connection. I wanted to buy this, but they're insane. They want $1 million for this destroyed piece of property. Good luck on that one. Now this royal scoop up here, I'm still interested in this. We've got the Tuckaway Cafe. Again, not opened. Doesn't make any sense. There is power. I see a power line going back to the back of the building. So there is power. I just don't know why they're not opened. It makes no sense. And the resort here across the street. I'm not sure if that's a Neptune Inn or what, but you know, someone needs to buy that. And then this used to be the Hammerhead Gym or whatever it was here, Lucky 7. And then over here was the Shamrock Restaurant Cafe. And then we had Armando's Day Spa coming out. Let's try to go back to the beach now and see what later day we can capture here. All right, so this is Diamond Head. Let's see what kind of accessibility I have. Probably should have turned there. They look like nice accessibility. I think it's actually right by Diamond Head on the north side of it, they have a nice access point. In fact, it's a nice time to go. See this building right here, Tri-Power? I want to buy this. You know, it's ready. You know, all their real estate moved to the building next door. But see, I don't care because I just need some place to open up the business firsthand. Once it gets opened, in that blue building down there, yeah, I probably want too much. The real estate people will probably give me a good deal, but when I say good deal, they're probably still going to try to charge me $1 million for it. So you can see these big piles. I'm just glad Diamond Head's back open. I mean, time to make money. like there's a nice walk here. There's no way I could. I guess I could have gone downhill on this little section here, but it makes no sense because, yeah, the rain is joining forces. That cloud over the Gulf is coming ashore on the south side of the island. It looks like the rain abated a little bit down towards Lover's Key. It went inland a little bit, but it's still there. And this is the berm. It's that wonderful berm that they built for, I can see no good reason. Obviously they're going to put sandgrass, they're going to put sawgrass on it, and probably sea grape tree bushes. And obscure the view even more. Although they should have built a road here. Should have built a submerged road where people could bypass the beach and go at least a little faster, maybe 30 or 40 miles an hour. That's what I would have done. It would have been a bigger berm then, and it would have been made out of concrete, so it would have actually lasted during a hurricane. It wouldn't have done really anything to prevent a hurricane, but it would have helped in those situations where you have little tropical storms that are pushing a 5-foot surge onto the island. That would have definitely deflected that. So we still got a lot of people here enjoying themselves. It's been about 3:30. Oh, that tide's going out a little bit more. Oh yeah, I can feel the sand is hardening up, so it should be better. The bike's going now. Oh. It's a little hard. I want to downshift a little bit. Alright. Yeah. Seagulls, man. I'd like to see seagulls make a return here to the beach. Sunday though, it's going to be even more crazy down here. There'll be more people on the beach. I may come down here just for a little stint. Yeah, sandbar's about 50 yards out, maybe 40 yards. Even some of the dogs, it's too hot for the dogs to lay outside in the sand, so they're lying with the owners under their umbrellas in the reclining chairs. Look. This is Diamond Head. Somebody set up a DJ. They're blasting that music from like a DJ underneath the tent. That's pretty awesome. Here's Margaritaville. This is going to be the new happening place to hang out. The sandbar is about 40 yards out from here. Once Margaritaville reopens, all of Times Square will also reopen, because this will be such a magnet in this area. People will just start overvaluating the property again on Times Square. And once Times Square reopens, then that's going to be incentive for both 7-Elevens to come back. And once they come back, then there'll be a landslide. But this property right here on the left, I know Margaritaville's trying to acquire, but this would be fantastic for another beach parking for Lee County. It's owned by Lee County, so they could make it a free beach parking, which they should. But if Margaritaville gets a hold of it, which I know they want to build another more condos over here, more hotel rooms. So there's a lot of seaweed, but the seaweed ends about 1 meter into the surf. So it's not too bad. Oh, sorry. People getting married here. Still, it's pretty awesome here. The hurricane actually made it nicer to party here. Not only did it add sand to the beach and make the beach wider, but it took out these bathrooms. I wish it took out them entirely, then we'd have more parking here, but I like how it took out the parking meters. So it actually helped out big time. Not for Fort Myers Beach per se, but there's people buying stuff. Such a beautiful beach. The sandbar is only about 30 yards out, maybe a little less. So, but it's been like that. It comes into shore like this, and then if you get down to Pink Shell, it jets on out again. So this is just weird how there's probably a reverse rip current that comes and moves the everything more towards shore in this area. See, now I'm looking, and the sandbar goes out about 40 yards now. We're not driving all the way down. We're going to cut off here. Yeah, the clouds these clouds that you see straight ahead of me here, they started over over Sanibel in the Gulf of Mexico early this morning. Even last night, they were there around 10 o'clock at night through this morning. And then around 10 a.m., they started moving towards the beach from out to sea here towards the beach. And then around 10:30, yeah, they were raining on me. Just had finished garage selling, and I was filming my my recap. I didn't buy anything today because it's just really all garbage out there. I mean, there was some interesting stuff. They had a couple laptops, a PS4. You want $200 for it? Yeah, your laptop is $100. You know, but it's a PS4, not PS5. You know, $200 sounds great, but I don't know if all the parts were there. They don't know if all the parts are there, so they can't guarantee it. So, you know, they're trying to sell it to me for retail without a guarantee. So, you know, $100 or less, I could take a chance on it, but because I know I can get parts and pieces to make it to work, but yeah, I'm just really buying for resale. So the resale market, as far as I'm concerned, price range, I'm looking for stuff $50 or less. So I'll be willing to buy parts if I can find them that amount to $50, but more than that, that's like buying it to keep yourself. And I got no time for games. You call this a game? This is the game. What I do need is some ice cream, though. Oh, terrible. Now, when I get home, I'm going to make a nice big ice drink. The problem is I have nothing to put in it. I have no mixer to go in there. I have like, I don't know, I have some limes. I guess I could make some lime juice, but so it would just be like a weak lime juice with plenty of slushy ice with water, a little bit of mix. I'm trying to think if I have a drop of vanilla I could add in there. That would really sparkle it up a bit. And of course, if I had some seltzer water, I would use it. I don't. I might stop at the store way home, buy some of those ingredients. I do need seltzer water. It's one thing I've been wanting to get for a while, but in the stores, they're not selling the brands that I want. I haven't gone to Total Wine anytime soon because I just haven't had an opportunity to go that way. I should. Anyway, I got some tea. I can make like sun tea and iced tea. Yeah, that's an option. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm gonna cut it short. Parked over here at Lim Hall Park. So I'll take a little venture out tomorrow early. All right, hasta mañana.